live in a universe that's pure love. Well, we can experience that if we're stuck in the lower emotions. In this video, I'll be showing you exactly how to identify if your heart center is truly open or if it needs to be, realigned, balanced, and centered in order to finally feel the higher emotions of love, joy, peace, and surrender truly to your higher self coming up. So this is actually my 4th video of my Chakra Awakening series that I hope you guys are enjoying, and I can't wait to dive into the heart center. It's one of my favorite centers, not only because it's the center of love, but it's truly the center of the higher self. It's where we begin to awaken our higher self and live from this higher emotional state of being. If you watch any of my chakra videos, which I'll link down below for you, you'll know that the first 3 centers are truly the centers of survival. It's all about the self. It's all about taking care of one's body, one's emotions, and one's mind, right? And this chakra is truly where we step outside of ourselves and truly into a higher plane of consciousness, where it's no longer about us, it's about other people as well. So like I said in my last video, it's almost like the whole universe opens up for me whenever I focus on one of these chakras, and it's like I get more information, I get more scientific based information. One of the coolest things about this chakra is that the heart center, like all the chakra centers, has an actual mind of its own. It has its own neural network, which is kind of like mind-boggling if you think about it. So it's not only our brain that has neurons, it's truly our heart, the most transformative centers in the human body, because it's where we begin to achieve a higher consciousness. And I'm going to go way deeper into that later in this video. So the heart center is truly where we can begin experiencing unconditional love for ourselves and all others around us. And so many people are walking around like just with their main focus on the material world in a way that's in survival. And the first 3 centers are going to lock you into that survival mindset. It's going to lock you into those lower emotions that I talked about in those videos. So one of the coolest things about this heart center is that as soon as you put energy into it, it automatically pulls up the energy that's stuck in the lower 3 centers that we talked about. All the lower emotion begins to unlock and unravel and start being brought up, transmuted into the heart center, truly where you can make amazing changes in your life. I want to emphasize that in this video, and not a lot of people are talking about that with the heart center. Some of the most common ways that this heart center becomes blocked is by experiencing traumatic events and not really processing them in a healthy way, especially during childhood, where you're supposed to feel joy, you're supposed to feel love and be loved and free, and a lot of people don't get to experience that during their childhood because they're in a dysfunctional family or environment that they're in, or being bullied in school. Just numerous things, and like I said, and not processing those emotions in a healthy way. I think that's the key, is to add perspective to those experiences. So when the heart center is blocked or closed, we feel lifeless. There's no energy flowing. Life is very dull. Kind of like what I mentioned in the Sacral Center video. It's almost like things go black and white. You become jaded to the world. It takes a lot for you to smile. It takes a lot for you to feel, appreciation, thankfulness. It takes a lot for someone to say, I'm sorry. Because they're not centered in their heart. They're just focusing into life from the lower baser emotions. And all of this can lead to anxiety, depression, and even, thoughts of being unalived. that unfortunately a lot of people experience. Like I said, it's like there's no joy in your life. And if you do feel joy, it's through pleasure, it's through the lower center, it's through an external temporary, condition, right? Or a person outside yourself that you're trying to love yourself through them. That's very that's not the healthiest thing to do. That sets up relationships for failure. So what are the ways that we can get this heart center nice and open? Well, the first thing to do is truly to go within, putting your attention into this heart center. Really feel it. Right now, close your eyes and just put your attention there. Because every time you feel stress, anxiety, fear, you're feeling it in your lower center, you're feeling it in your gut, you're feeling it in your solar plexus. But we're not conditioned to feel our heart center energy. So we have to start practicing putting our attention there. And sooner or later, you're going to have the experience of having this heart center literally swell up and burst wide open. And you'll have tears of joy. You know what a panic attack is? Well, think of the opposite. It's like a love attack. It's like you're in this moment of like pure joy, gratitude, and just bliss. And it's like, it's just an emotional moment. And it's overwhelming. And it's like joy overtakes you and you have to surrender. Because there's no other choice. And very few people have ever experienced that. And I've experienced this multiple times. And I'm very grateful for that. And I've worked on my heart center energy for a very long time to try and mute that. And I'm going to tell you guys, the heart center is truly our inner healer. It's the seat of our higher self. It's where the energy of the higher self comes through in the physical world and expresses itself through love, kindness, generosity, and joy. So these are actually the higher emotions that, if you want to get this heart center open, you gotta start practicing these emotions. Because guess what? We've all practiced the opposite. Our entire society, and it's not your fault, our entire society is programmed to feel the lower emotions, to feel anger, fear, jealousy. All these lower emotions keep this energy from opening up. When you open up Netflix, do you stop to think about the titles? All the titles are just worded in the negative. They're worded, fight, or they have words like dark, they have words like, and fear and stuff like that. Like the words are just they're in the negative. They're just programmed to make you think that that's how life is. Movies are really good ways to train your emotions. And yeah, think about that. Movies are a great way to train emotions. And Hollywood knows that. And what's the number one emotion that people tend to feel? Fear and anxiety and depression. This goes back to my last video where I talked about mankind's level of evolution is currently at the Sacral Plexus Chakra Center because, at its highest expression, we have amazing technology. AI is now available to everyone, but at the same time, we have the lowest expression. The world is so divided. It's so, us against them. And the heart center breaks that. It brings duality and turns it into unity and turns it into oneness. So the heart center is where you truly and the other. You can see yourself in the enemy. You can see yourself in everything and everyone. This is where you truly can experience oneness with all life, because this is the truth. The truth is that we're all one. We all come from the same source of life. Whatever you want to call that. Basically our higher self is connected to everything and everyone. And it's through our heart center that we can feel that and experience that. So the heart center is truly the most vital center to fully develop at this time. Because when you are in your heart center, the whole universe thanks you for it by giving you synchronicities. Yes, synchronicities. When you are in your heart center, you are in your higher self. And guess what? When that happens, magical doors, portals begin to open. Energy vortexes begin to open for you. Life become more of an adventure, a magical journey, where you'll start seeing numbers, you'll start, connecting with different people. You think about someone and they'll call you. It's because your heart center is opening, and with that opening, it begins to, this is what I learned recently, your heart center is an electromagnetic energy field generator. You see, we are more than just particles. We actually exist as waves as well. And what is a wave? It's energy. It's an energy field. But most of us are materialists, which is what the first two chakras are all about. It's about survival. It's about taking care of oneself, which is nothing wrong with that, by the way. It's just, if you are surviving, then you're not thriving. That's just the bottom line. And the heart center is when you truly begin to thrive. It's when you truly start seeing doors open for you. It's like you're entering a magical portal, and that portal is your heart center. It's truly by going within. Going within is going to be one of the most hardest things for people to do, but it's also the most rewarding, because when you go within, you cannot help but become more authentic, become more who you really are. You see, in my last few videos, I talked about how most people are like, they identify as an emotion. Oh, they're an angry person, they're depressed. They identify with these lower emotions. Here in the heart center, it's like you peel the onion back. You peel that onion and you reveal what's truly inside. Those emotions are not who you are. Who you are is truly love. I know it's cliche. I know it's everyone says love's all there is. That's where you begin to feel it. And we're also learned from Dr. Joe Dispenza is that you cannot think beyond how you feel. So if you are in those lower emotions of survival, of constantly, triggering that cortisol level of your solar plexus, anxious, fear, oh my god, there's not enough time. Guess what? Your body responds to that the same way it responds to you training it to be more peaceful, training yourself to be more in love with yourself and in love with life itself. And when you do that, my God, the doors of the universe opens onto you. Every single religion and culture has a story, has a parable in regards to this, of love being all there is. And the heart center is where you begin to generate love. You begin to generate the feeling that you are wanting to feel from the outer world, right? For example, this beautiful saying in the Bible says, seek first the kingdom of heaven within, and everything else will be added on to you. Eckhart Tolle breaks this down so beautifully. He says, when the Bible refers to heaven, it's an actual dimension of spaciousness. It's a presence within yourself. It's just, putting your attention, like I was just saying, inside yourself, into your heart. And when you do that, everything else will be added on to you, right? That means that when you feel full, when your cup, which is, another symbol of the heart, is overflowing, you feel that love within you, it feels as though everything you want in your exterior life, you already have it. You have no wants, you're not wanting, you're overflowing. And guess what? You start giving things away, you start giving knowledge, your time, love, abundance, everything away, because you are full of this love within yourself. And that's truly the kingdom of heaven. It's within. It's here. It's in your heart center, and then everything will add on to you. That's because your heart is a true, like I said, electromagnetic energy field generator. It generates a field, an aura around you, up to 9 feet wide. That's powerful. It's 9 feet wide. When you are radiating love, your energy field is wide. You become a true influencer in your life, and you become magnetic. You're like a metal rod. There's no electrical charge, but when you add that electrical charge, you become this magnet, this energy magnet, and you draw to you all the synchronicities, all the things that your heart's desire. This starts coming to you. But guess what? You enjoy those things, but it's almost as though it doesn't have the same meaning. It's you enjoy it, but it's like you don't need it. You don't need it to fulfill you. And honestly, guys, that's where I kind of am right now. It's like I'm learning so much, and it's like I have to express it, and that's the third center. When you feel love, when you feel overflowing, when your heart center is, overflowing with love and peace and wisdom, you want to give it away, and that's what I'm doing here, guys. And it's amazing for me, and I want everyone to feel it. Sooner or later, your body will be conditioned to that high flying frequency of love, of peace, of lightness of heart, of laughter, joy, being present. And that's truly where enlightenment begins, because your heart center, it's your connection to your true self. I'm going to tell you a little mystical secret, is that once you get this heart center open and energy flowing through it, this energy cannot help but keep rising upwards into the third eye, into the crown center, the pineal gland, pituitary gland, which I'll talk about in the later videos. But and then you'll have the most amazing mystical experiences, like you truly life on a higher dimension, but don't do it for that. Do it because it just feels good. And a lot, like the energy of the heart center is one of allowing and surrendering to a higher state of consciousness, which is love, which is wisdom, which is joy. And like Abraham Hicks says, joy is the key. Joy is the true purpose of life. We're in this just to feel joy. So milk that joy, bask in the joyfulness of life. Go outside. Like our guys, our brains are so conditioned for dopamine hits, which, mind you, that's the lower base chakras, right? And when you go on TikTok and Instagram and YouTube videos all the time, all day, every day, you're draining energy from your brain and you're putting it into lower centers for pleasure, right? Those are exterior pleasures. It's not going to fulfill you. That's what I'm trying to say. People are so addicted to their phones that they don't have enough dopamine to generate the feeling of appreciation for nature. They watch the sunset and like, oh, okay, on their phones. They don't have they don't have enough brain chemicals to generate the energy to watch the sunset and feel immense appreciation. Because they get it all day, every day. They're drying up their happiness chemicals. And this is why a social media cleanse, just take a few days off of social media and start living in the now and watch how fast you get into your heart center. And the next thing you know, you'll start seeing the flicker of the sun rays reflecting on leaves, on flowers, on a lake, and you'll just feel so much appreciation. Your heart begins to open, because your brain chemicals are now available for you to have that experience. So I covered a lot here, guys. I hope this made sense to you. I'm trying to blend a lot more scientific. I'm trying to blend a lot more scientific facts, and research into this that I've learned recently. A lot of it I get from Dr. George Dispenza. Check out his work, he's amazing. He really talks about the heart center. It's called heart and brain coherence, right? Once you open the heart, energy goes to your brain. You will start having those chemicals to reduce these mystical experiences. It's like the universe begins to stimulate you in a higher way. I want to add a little bit about romantical relationship. Most romantics, when we fall in love, it's really, we're following the chemicals of the lower emotions. First center, the second center, and the third center. Those centers stimulate us into feeling like these loving emotions. There's dopamine hits, right? But true love is one beyond the physical. It's not just an emotion. Relationships can be categorized in emotional connection, right? Which is wonderful, right? But a lot of times people tend to lose themselves in a relationship. I've done this a few times, and I know it, and I know you have to. Not all of you, but most of you. And basically, you are giving in order to get. That's the focus. Instead of generating within yourself happiness, peace, and joy, and raising the energy centers up into the heart chakra. Because the heart center is all forgiving, it's all loving, and it's all healing. But I want to say that just because you are in a state of unconditional love, obviously it is loving for you to take care of your physical body, your mind, your spirit, your emotions. So if you are in a toxic relationship and the person will not change, get out. Those things are going to keep you locked in the lower emotions. It took me a long time to kind of see that. I thought, I have to be all unconditional loving, and it's like, you gotta love yourself first before you can love someone else truly and truthfully, And we've all had toxic relationships. I have had a couple, and I learned so much from them, and now it's almost like I'm glad it happened, because if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't feel so much freaking joy in my life, so much love, all on my own. You don't feel the need for another. It's nice to have it, but it's not necessary. You're living outside the paradigm that society has put forth upon you. Okay, so I know I have to be a little dramatic with my words, but I'm just trying to get a point here. But yeah, so that's what I wanted to say about relationships and romance. Obviously, if you're in a positive romantic relationship, you know what? Add more love, add more joy, add more peace to it, and watch how quickly your partner is gonna be like, "Who are you?" And that's because you are responding from your true higher self. We live in a universe that's pure love. Well, we can experience that if we're stuck in the lower emotions. Once you live in a higher frequency, you start attracting more of that. It's law of attraction. It is law. It's a law of the universe. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you guys learned something new. I know I did. I did a lot recently, and I'm just like, I'm overjoyed and want to share all of it with you guys. So the chakras are truly a roadmap to higher consciousness. This is how we take our energy and raise it to a higher vibration. And I want to share more information about this, and practical tips and tools and all that jazz. So I really hope you resonate with this. And if you did, please give me a big thumbs up and subscribe down below for more videos just like this. And feel free to watch any of these videos that I'll put on the screen right now. And yeah, all my love to you. Major blessings to you. All my love.